Hi, my name is John and welcome to another Sunday night nightcap. You could be wondering why I'm wearing a top hat. I had a video all night, I was appearing on the channel the other night and the top hat fell off, the hookup was on and somebody says, John, wear your top hat for a nightcap, so the top hat is on. You'd probably tell by my voice that I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not right by a long way, but I'm a lot better than I was, mainly thanks to my wife. And thanks to all my friends who've sort of looked after us, lads at work, lasses at work, everybody. Doctor was fantastic, so thanks very much for that. Right, tonight's nightcap, it's a broken stud in a Ford aluminium diesel head. I have a bastard of a job getting it out. I had to make a jig, to drill and jig it. It's the worst stud I've ever done. It was hard, really hard. Cobalt drill wouldn't look at it. Anyway, I did manage to get it out. I'll show quite a bit of that. This arrived last week from my friend Peter. It's obviously a blacksmith's leg vise. It's a big one. I've got big feet, you can see it's a decent one. Deborah's always wanted one of these and now she's got one. It's all seized up. I'm going to have to soak it in some diesel, get it frayed off, get it mounted onto a bench, and I'm sure she'll enjoy using that. It reels and rolls well, you can see the wear on it. I bet I could tell a few stories. Anyway, that's Debs Vice. This is a manifold gasket. It's actually a Ford Transit, and the problem I've got, or the problem the lad's got, is he's got on the cylinder head that stud there snapped off. Now it's snapped off about 4mm inside the aluminium head, and he's asked me to go and drill it. I took one look at it, and it obviously needs a jig making to make sure you drill it square. You can't just go poking your drill in there. It's an aluminium. It'll turn out bad. So I'm going to make a piece of bar with a slotted hole in that fits over that stud, and a good 8mm hole in this end, so I can put a pin in to line that up, tighten that up, and then that gives me a good centre to drill to. I can make a drilling bush to go in there, drill it probably 4mm. I'll try and ease out. Then we can go to 6.8mm, possibly put a tap down, original threads. Failing that, we'll just drill it out 8.1 and put a helicoil in. I've got a bit of key steel here, I'll use that. So I need to cut a slot in this end to fit on there, so I've got some adjustment. I know that I'm sure the hole centres are 90mm, I can measure them. And there'll be different size holes in the end of here, be a 4mm one. And then, like I say, a tap and drill, and then helicoil drill. So I'm going to use that to try and get the way. We'll not be trying, we will be getting the broken stud out. My first thought was to weld a nut on until I saw it. I'll take the camera down tomorrow morning and hopefully it'll make a nice video of getting the stud out. It's a little bit complicated doing it this way, but even paying me to do this, it'll be cheaper than taking the cylinder head off. If the cylinder head was off, I could just mount it on the mill and put a milling cutter through. It would be easy, but he doesn't want to strip the engine. And the engine's out of the car, so access is pretty good. The first hole I'm going to put in will be 8mm. To take that 8mm down pin, which will go through and locate in the original stud hole on the cylinder head. I'll make a bush to take this particular drill, so I can drill it out smaller first, and we'll try and ease out into it. But I really do think it'll play out and easy out. Nice sharp cobalt drill. Right, so that should be a nice fit in there, which it is, and I can use that to line up this hole on the broken stud, and I'll turn a little sleeve, like a little pilot, so I can use that drill to just get an initial hole in the centre of it. The next hole along is going to be tapping size, 6.8. Then the next one along will be the actual helicoil drill size, which I think is 8.3. So I've got another hole in here. I'll use the same little drill because they're nice and sharp. I've got several jigs like this I've made for different jobs, for cylinder heads, cylinder blocks. You can't afford to go poking a drill in freehand. Right, so near the end I've drilled a hole there, that's for the helical tap, a special tap, which is that one there. I'm going to drill a clearance hole in there so I can put the tap through and get the tap running nice and straight. Right, so that's going to guide the tap in perfectly straight. I can't emphasise how accurate this job's got to be. It'll be so simple just to scrap my cylinder head. I'm just going to drill the slot first and then we'll put probably a 10mm milling cutter in and machine it into a slot. This just gives us a little bit of adjustment. Look at that bastard. A little bit of adjustment either way. Right, we've got a nice 8mm cutter in there. I'm just going to do this dry. I'm just going to take light cuts. I'm not in a great hurry. It's all the way through. Right, so I get the gasket, and that's the fixed stud I've got. So I'll be clamped onto there, and I can line that one up, and exactly the same across here. I can line those two up. Now I've got to make a little dowel just to fit in to the 8mm hole, so I can put my little pilot drill through. So I get a bit of 8mm silver steel and drill it to take my pilot drill. I'm going to make two bushings, one at 3mm and one at 4mm. That's a bit of 8mm silver steel, which is a really good fit, obviously in the 8mm hole. 3mm drill, running nice and fast, 1000 RPM. Warm that bastard was. I don't know if you can see that if the camera will focus or not on there, but it's actually got wrote on there, made in England, proper silver steel. It's actually 5/16, not 8mm, so it's a little bit on the slack side, but it'll be perfectly adequate for what we need to do.